guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I got this graphic cut crease using the one and only Beauty Bay Book of Magic palette. You'll also notice that I have for once straightened my hair because it was obviously time for my monthly length check, and I'm pleased to say that it's looking really long, which means I really need a haircut, and also to do something about these roots, which I haven't had done since February. Anyway, so I went for this more rounded graphic cut crease shape today, and once I had it on I realised that the shape was really similar to a look done by Make Me Up Missa. I think it was her P. Louise Weldy palette review. Basically pretty much exactly the same shape, so I will be linking her video down below if you guys would like to check it out. I don't know why, but it's taken me really long to record this intro. For no obvious reason, so I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I need to go and take pictures of this look and then eat. So I'm gonna head off and I'll let you guys jump straight into the tutorial. Alright guys, I have as always primed my eyes with my P. Louise base, so we're gonna jump into the Book of Magic palette. I was actually gonna use my Forever Flawless Ice palette today, but I've used that a few times on my channel and this is newer. I mean, look at it. You can't not use it, can you? So I'm going to start off with the shade Curse down here. I'm just taking it on a Zoeva 231 and I'm going to start packing it on, and I'm cutting the crease. So I'm going to try and make sure that I take it up high enough, and this probably still isn't high enough, so I'm going to add some more. And I'm going to take it underneath and round it out as though I'm going to do that rounded shape. But I think I will stretch it out a bit more. I just find that by starting it off like this, it gives me a good starting point to extend it out afterwards. Next up, I think I'm going to go into the shade Trick, and I'm just going to use another Zoeva 231. And I'm just going to blend the two in together. I'm filming this on the 9th of December and I haven't actually done any sort of Christmassy looks yet. Not that I usually do loads, but I normally try and fit in a couple. I just haven't had the chance yet. This is the first video I'm filming this week. Both videos I've got up already were filmed last week, so I spent Monday and Tuesday editing, and I'm finally sitting down to film today, and I actually have no idea when I'm going to find time to edit this one because I'm actually starting a new job tomorrow. Next, I'm going to take the shade Elixir on a Morphe M433, and god, that picks up well. And again, I'm just going to blend. So yeah, it's a Christmas temp job, but it's in a department store and it's in beauty, and I'm really excited to get back to working in beauty. But I'm going to be doing pretty much full-time hours. I think the days are a little bit shorter, but it's 5 days a week. So my YouTube schedule just isn't going to be quite as regular for the next few weeks. My god, I do just forget how pigmented these shades are, which is like a really good thing. I mean, they're amazing, but I want to try and fade that in a bit more, even though I'm already really close to my eyebrow. So I am going to jump into my pastels palette, and I'm going to take the shade Cloud Free. I'm just going to take the same brush just to try and lighten it up a bit right at the front. I know I've ended up using the pastels palette in all of my looks with this palette, but they do just work together really well. This one is super cheap as well, so if you feel like you do need some slightly lighter shades to go with your other Beauty Bay palettes, I think it's worth it. If you want to use it by itself, that's a different thing, and I do have a review of the palette if you want to check it out up here. In terms of using it alongside your other Beauty Bay palettes, or just, you know, other palettes, if you wanted to have some more pastel shades, I think it's great. Okay, so then I'm going to take a Morphe M441 and I'm going to go into the shade Enchanted and pop that on the side. I've not really played with the purples in this palette all that much. I do just grab it for the blues, but I mean, look at these blues. I'm just doing a rounded shape but going outwards a bit more. I think what is nice about this palette is having that dark to light with all of the shades, but I have just found that I end up adding another shade. So like I'm doing now with the blue, adding the light purple, or if I was doing the turquoises, adding the yellow, just for like an extra something. I feel like otherwise it would fall maybe a bit flat. Yeah, see, I kind of wish I'd gone for this purple instead because it is a bit more blue. So I think what I'm going to do is just go back in with my blues, re-intensify everything, and then I'll come in with that. So let's do that. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm taking my darkest shade high enough. And knowing me, I'm probably not. That's normally what happens. Then next I'm going back in with Trek. And then Elixir. Am I saying that right? Is it Elixir? Elixir? I honestly don't know. I know I spent the whole review banging on about how this palette was more mermaidy than witchy, but right now I'm like, don't I feel witchy. And then back into Cloud Free from Pastels palette. Oh, that was way too much. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into the Pastels palette and I'm gonna take, I can't read this, I'm gonna take Daydream, and the brush I'm using is a Morphe M456 so that I can kind of just nip in between the two shades. I'm almost surprised it's not more this type of purple that's in the Book of Magic palette. You just go back in with the M433. Yeah, there we go. And now I'm gonna go back in with some of Enchanted and finish off that curve. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to cut my crease. I'm going to be using the white silvery shade. I can't remember what video I did it in, but I did a video, I think I did anyway, where I took off the product and then just went in with glitter glue, because in my review I did mention that I felt like these were, you know, pretty good in terms of not giving me any texture on the lid. When I actually looked at the photo up close that I posted on Instagram, I did have a bit of cracking, and it was just with this one, but I think that because it's so light, I ended up packing so much of it on. So I'm just going to start by taking the brush that I used to carve out my brow, and I'm going to carve out the cut crease. I'm just using my P. Louise base, but you can use anything you want. Probably a cheap concealer is best for this so that you're not wasting your nice product. I'm going to look up, see where my transfer is, and that's how high I'm gonna go. And today we're going for that more rounded shape. So you can see I haven't covered the shape entirely, mostly just the outline, and then some of it has kind of gone down. And right now that base has turned blue. So I'm gonna take another flat brush, same shape as the other one, just smaller. They are linked down below. And I'm just gonna add some micellar water to it. And I'm just going to erase all of that base, and don't do what I did last time, which was to get all the micellar water in my eyes. I do just find that doing this, number one, oh, see, there we go. Make sure you don't have too much micellar water on your brush, kids. But yeah, since doing this, I am just finding that I'm getting a sharp cut crease and a much cleaner finish, and I don't end up with as much pigment mixing into my base as I used to. So it's a really good technique, a little bit more time consuming, but I think it's worth it. So now that that space is completely clean, I'm now going to go in with my NYX Glitter Glue and just cover that entire area. I do regret not picking more of this up over Black Friday, because I do use this a lot. I'm just covering the entire lid, getting as close as I can to that line. And then I'm just going to take any flat brush and I'm going to go into the shade Moonlight. You do have to dig into this one a little bit, and it is a bit transparent. Am I going to regret what I've done? Possibly. It's actually going on pretty chunky. I've got a massive chunk right in my inner corner, which is quite annoying actually. Do I have another brush? I'm gonna try a different one. Okay, the brush may have been a mistake. It was quite stiff, so I've gone for something a little bit softer, and I do seem to be having a better time with that. And again, just trying to go all the way to that edge. I have to say, there is something about that shade that is a little bit too chunky for my liking. Just like a tiny bit. Anyway, that's fine. What I'm gonna try and do now is turn that into a more rounded shape, and I have no idea if I'm gonna manage to do that. Have I taken this far enough on this side? I don't know, I might take it a bit further. So I'm going to take my Morphe M508 and I'm going to go into Cast, and I'm going to start kind of around here, possibly taking it a bit too high. I'm going to try and round the cut crease off and then almost create like a liner with the eyeshadow. It's looking quite blotchy, that's fine. I'm going to come and blend that. Just using the same brush, I'm going to switch into Trick, kind of get the liner a bit lighter as I'm nearing the front of the eye. I'm just taking Elixir now as well, right at the front of the eye. And then I think I'm just going to drag it backwards, blend it into my other shades. Okay, I think that's actually gone a lot better than I expected it to. I'm going to take a little bit more of the shimmer shade just here. I took the matte a bit too high and now I've gone over the top of the blue. So I'm going to take a bit more of Tricked. I do wish it was a bit more precise, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm going to take the brush from the Zoeva 231 that I used for Tricked, and I'm just going to try and help blend this out here at the top and around that side, all while trying to make sure that we don't lose the shape. Okay, so I'm just going to go and do the other side, prime my lower lash line, and we'll do that next. And then we'll do some liners, which is going to be hard. This is not an easy shape to do on my eyes, basically. Okay, so I'm just going to start by using the Zoeva brush I used with the darkest shade. I haven't actually picked up more product. I'm just extending that ever so slightly. And then I'm going to take a clean 231 and I'm going to go into Bewitched, and I'm going to take that in the middle, and I need to make sure I'm going as low down as my other shades. And then I'm just going to take my Morphe M433, make sure that's all connected up. And then in the front, I'm going to go in with Spell, which, have I used it? I think I have actually. I think I have used it once. And that's just going to be... Oh, that's a shame. It's just a little bit darker, really, than the matte shade. Anyway, I'm going to take that all the way along the front. And I think I'm just going to pull it backwards, back over my middle shade. Okay, there we go, that's helped me transition a little bit better. Right, so here's the tricky part. I'm gonna do some liner, and I'm really gonna regret this because this is gonna be really hard, but I'm gonna take the shade High Peak, which is the metallic purple from Sheen Cosmetics. I use the Pro Arte Masterstroke Series 60 brushes. This is size 000 and I do like it, but I see a lot of people using nail art brushes and a lot of brands releasing longer, thinner brushes, and I can't help but feel that that would be better suited to what I'm doing today. So I think I will pick some up at some point. I'm going to try and line the curve, but I don't want to go all the way with it, and this is going to be really hard and I already know it. Okay, actually that's not too bad. I'm going to try and make sure it's thicker in the middle and then it thins out. I've probably jinxed it by saying it, but actually that's not a bad start. My original plan was to add like a second colour, but you know what, I'm not brave enough. I don't think I'm brave enough. Too risky. What I am going to do though is kind of amp up the top of the cut crease. So I'm going to take the Pixie liquid eyeshadow in Crystalline. I'm going to take this on a small brush and pop that right at the front. Should really let me sharpen that up again as well. And then I think what I'm also going to do to kind of lighten up the lower lash line, I'm also going to take the shade, what is this, Lagoon. Again, I'm taking that on a small brush, and I'm going to pop that just under the tear duct, I think. It's not really lightening it as much as I thought it would, but it is just going to make that more glittery. I'm going to highlight my brow bone, which is going to be really hard to sneak in, but I'm going to take my Ofra Nikki Tutorials highlighter. Let me get that right up here, and then on the inner corner as well. And then actually I'm going to take a bit more of crystalline right on the inner corner as well. I just want like all the inner portion of the eye be really bright and glittery. What can I do on my waterline? It's a shame I don't have a blue Louise paint really. Actually, I think I am going to go in with the shade Ecstasy from the Acid Rain paints. I did this for another look and it worked quite well. I'm just doing the paint first. Now the only thing with that is that it is a different purple to the one that I've got on my eyes, so there's a bit of a disconnect that I don't really like. So what I did the other day was just to take another flat liner brush and pick up some of High Peak. I'm not making it too watery this time, and I'm going to pop that on top. So the P. Louise paint is almost acting like a base. Okay, I definitely got way too much of that in my eye. Ow. My vision's blurry now. Okay, I was a bit clumsy with that, but now that actually ties into the colour that I've got on the lid, so I just much prefer that. And if I tried to go in with the liner directly on my waterline, because it's a water activated liner, it wouldn't work. I've tried it before. By having the paint on there first, I just find it acts as a bit of a base, and it just ties it in a bit better, so I do like that. Okay, so all that's really left on the eyes is mascara, lashes and brows, which you guys know I always do off camera anyway. I'm just gonna go and do my foundation and all that off camera, just because the eyes have taken quite a bit of time today. The foundation is just kind of always the same, so I don't want this video to be too long, but I'll come back once that's done, and that way we'll do all of the blush and highlighter and lips together. Okay, there we go, so we are nearly done. So I'm gonna do highlighter next, and I'm just gonna jump back into the Ofra one. Nice and easy. It's just gonna help tie everything together a little bit. I'm going to use my Real Techniques B02 brush. I don't want it to be like just one stripe. I want to try and see if I can do something a bit more blended out. Just buffing it into the skin. I'm just going to take it on a blending brush to do the lips and the nose, just help me concentrate it a bit more. I just remember the first time I used this when I first received it, and I was like, this is white. This is so bright. What am I doing? Now I'm used to it, but at the time I was just like, what is this? What have I gotten myself into? For my blush, I'm going to use my Anasui blush in the shade 302. I know I just used it in my last video, but it is just my perfect winter shade of blush. So I'm going to be using it. The brush I'm using is the Morphe & Jaclyn Hill JH06. It is a nice blush brush. I am enjoying it. I've accidentally gone quite pink on the nose. I think I kind of like it. Do I not? Is it cute? I don't really know. I'm gonna take my powder brush. It's kind of cute. Actually, it's the first time I've managed to do that without removing all the foundation underneath, so may as well stick with it. I'm going to go in with a nice sparkly setting spray, and I have a new bottle of Iconic London Prep Set and Glow. So just remember to give it a good shake. Ooh, that was intense. There we go. Oh, it's just such a fine and beautiful mister. Love the smell as well. For my lips, I'm going to go with pink. I'm going to go with my Huda Beauty lip liner in the shade Trophy Wife. And then for the lipstick, I'm going to go into my W7 Semi-Matte Lipstick in the shade Desire. Oh wow, that is a perfect match. Look at that. I find this a little bit amusing as well. I mean, it's not funny, but I'm using the pencil from my Huda Beauty lip set with the lipstick from the W7 lip set that dupes the Huda ones because the pencil in that one was rubbish. So I don't know, it amuses me, but I mean, it's boring, let's face it. I was thinking of adding a gloss, but I think because I'm using a semi-matte lipstick rather than a matte, I'll be okay. I'm not going to use it, but I am going to go in with another spray of Iconic London. I don't need to, but I really like it. Alright guys, here is the finished look. I hope as always that you like it. I've just remembered that my original plan was to add snowflakes to this look. I bought a box of like holographic snowflakes to use, but I don't think this look is particularly wintry. Kind of got a bit of a Northern Lights vibe, which I'm kind of digging, but it doesn't feel very Christmassy or very wintry, so I'm gonna save the snowflakes for another time. And I just hope that I'm gonna have some time to fit in some Christmas looks now before Christmas, because I am going back to working full-time hours. It's gonna be a struggle. So hopefully I can fit in a Christmas look. This is where we got to today, and I absolutely love it. I still think that this palette is absolutely fantastic. I can't believe I hadn't picked it up since my last video using it. It's just absolutely incredible. If you haven't got it and you like cool tones, what are you doing? Basically, you kind of need this in your life. I don't often say that. I don't like it that much when influencers go, you absolutely need this, but that palette is £15 for that price. It's really, really good. Anyway, that wraps up today's video. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long to edit it and get it out for you guys. Honestly, I have no idea. But if you guys enjoyed it, do please make sure as always that you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on my next video. And I'll be seeing you on the next one. Bye guys.